Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. This is a standalone novel that is 59 chapters and 652 pages long. Really, I thought of it as concentrated Game of Thrones into one book, an entire series. So 650 pages, it's fairly long, but it does what it needs to do and it wraps it up into an ending. So to me, that is key to the enjoyment factor, but also it is a hefty book. So it probably could have been broken into two. I mean, but I liked it for what it was. I enjoyed it. There is hints that there is possibility of a future book, but I liked it just the way it was. So standalone novel, and really it's the tale of two sisters. There is the youngest sister, Siri, who is more carefree and impulsive, and then there's the older sister, Vivenna, and she is more proper and follows the rules. Both are princesses to the kingdom of Idris, and there is trouble brewing in this, continent, and it's set in the Cosmere Universe. So Brandon Sanderson has a number of other book series, and some of them are set in the Cosmere. This one, I believe, is. And anyways, Idris, the country or the continent, the kingdom, they believe in, I believe their god is called austerity, like not showing emotions, not showing bright colors, just living life to the fullest, but also like properly. Whereas the kingdom they're at war with, Hallandren, Hallandren, they're more carefree and colorful, right? Anything goes, the city of colors, colors everywhere, even their swear words involve colors. So that kind of ties into something that Brandon Sanderson does really, really well, is that, there's a specific culture for each book and also a language to identify with and swear words to help you get into it quickly. So I like that. I like that, there's that rhythm of colors and the vibrancy. So very neat. And like I said, Idris is very drab and Hallandren is very colorful. And in Hallandren, they have gods who have returned. So these are regular people who have died, and then in their act of, while dying, did something heroic or worth coming back for. And so they are returned and they are allowed to live at a young, I don't know if they get to pick their age, but they live at a fixed age as long as they get one breath per week. And so every individual, it's kind of like a soul or a pseudo soul. It's like this ability to perceive colors, and they call it a breath. And so every person has it, and an individual can give it up without dying. So it's not exactly a soul, but it's kind of like a pseudo soul. Anyways, giving it up, you become a drab, quote unquote, and your ability to see colors is lessened. But it's this great honor to, give your breath up to the gods or something like that. Anyways, the return need it for one per week in order to survive. And they form the system of government. They vote, I think there's like 25 of them, and they vote, and the God King has one veto overriding vote or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's their system of government, and their people are all, dressed in bright colors and are very, outgoing and vibrant, that kind of thing. So what I liked is that there's so many different perspectives in this book, and a lot of it is about shifts in perspective, but also reversals. You've got the two sisters who trade roles. The oldest is meant to be the heir, and she is supposed to, her whole life she's been training to be queen. And of course, at the last second, the king switches the two sisters, and so now the younger sister is sent off to honor a treaty and become queen. You got the God King, who has his tongue removed so that he can't use all of his powers. And so he's kind of, stuck, and everybody thinks he's some ferocious, all-powerful being who is just like super, I don't want to say uppity, but I can't think of a better word right now, but super aloof, whereas really he just can't say anything. So that was a good perspective switch. You got Idris and Hallandren, right? Everybody assumes that because Idris is drab and colorless, that they're just kind of, you know, a little bit lesser. And everybody assumes that Hallandren is, outgoing, fun people, but really the roles do switch a little bit. I liked the Lightsong. He is one of the returned who is struggling with his return to life. He's kind of living a useless life. It's luxury and pampered, but he doesn't really feel like he's fulfilled at all. And so he has, a perspective shift. So I really liked that one as well. And of course, Vivenna's take on Awakening, right? She stumbles across breaths and she has this vast amount of breaths, which her religion teaches is, not something to be used and is a bad thing. But she slowly warms up to it and eventually warms into awakening, which is the next level. So you can have breaths, but then there's also using them to awaken objects, and they have to be in the shape of a human in order for it to be easier to awaken. And there's all kinds of different rules. I don't want to get into the magic system too much, but it is a huge part of this book, and it is very creative, very unique. The colors. So using a breath, you drain the color from a nearby object and can imbue like a cloth or a rope with, it can follow a basic command. Hold things, grab things, pull things, that kind of thing. So basic commands, and it's really cool. So along with that is the next level in that you can even awaken human-shaped objects. So for example, a corpse, it seems kind of icky and all that stuff, but this is like, this book came out in 2009, so it was like right before the zombie craze in media, so that was kind of fun. But really, I think this whole book ties in really nicely. Lots of role reversals and perspective shifts. It's just a lot of fun. Great magic system, lots of cool adventures that come along with it. And it's set in the Cosmere, and it is a standalone novel. So give it a look. It is worth your time. There were 2 or 3 quotes in here that I really liked. And the first one is Lightsong, who is a returned. He is talking about imagining things. This is all part of a grand scheme of make-believe. But Lightsong found that imaginary things were often the only items of real substance in people's lives. I don't know, it's imaginary, but, a relationship, a feeling, can you hold those? Are those real? Like, those are really important. Love is an important thing, but is it real? Like, I don't know how to describe it. You can't hold it, you can't touch it, but, imaginary things that aren't physical objects are often really, really important to people's lives, and that stood out to me as a pretty big quote. This next one's motivations. So Denth is a mercenary that the older sister meets, and we are right here in the middle. What I'm trying to say is that you don't understand a man until you understand what makes him do what he does. Every man is a hero of his own story. And so motivation is pretty key. People do things for any number of reasons, but until you understand why, that helps you figure out what's going on and the motivations behind it. So that was really cool. And then this last one's just a quick little one-liner, but this is the God King talking to his wife, Ciri, the younger sister. Beauty is not about how a person looks. Pretty quick, simple, easy. There is a person behind the way somebody, it's more than just the way they look. They have thoughts, feelings, emotions, goals, dreams, all kinds of good stuff. And so this book, it just blew away my expectations. I wasn't sure what to expect, but man, this was a great book. There's mystery, there's conspiracy, there's just all kinds of, learning the magic system. There's the 2 sisters who are struggling to survive. You just got every little bit of this comes together and it makes a nice, concentrated adventure story. So give it a look. It is absolutely worth your time. And remember to buy your books used.